if you're considering the Creality Ender-5 Max for your 3D printing projects. Stop scrolling because this review is going to save you time, money, and headaches. The Ender-5 Max promises a massive build volume, ultra-fast printing speeds, and advanced features that sound ideal for professionals and serious hobbyists. But here's what surprised me about this price tag. While the specs look amazing on paper, there are some frustrating and overlooked issues you need to know before clicking buy. You might think a $699 printer this powerful would be a no-brainer, but let me reveal what Creality doesn't tell you up front, and why some users find it less than perfect. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know if this printer truly deserves a spot on your desk or if you should look elsewhere. First off, who exactly is the Ender-5 Max for? Well, if you're a professional needing to print large models up to 400x400x400, or a business managing multiple batch prints, this printer seems tailor-made for you. It's also pitched at the advanced beginner to expert market, those who want premium features without stepping into industrial-grade prices. The ultra-fast XY-axis motors claiming speed up to 700 ms look perfect for time-sensitive jobs. And the 36-point auto-leveling system sounds like a dream for anyone who's spent hours fiddling with bed leveling, the pain every 3D printer user knows too well. But is this dream too good to be true? Let's jump into what makes the Ender-5 Max stand out and where it stumbles spectacularly. The massive build volume is unquestionably a highlight. At 400 m cubed, you can print bigger projects without awkward segmentation. So if you're making large sculptures, cosplay armor pieces, or functional prototypes, this machine is prepared to handle it, sort of like that one friend who says they'll help you move, but actually only carries a box or two. The added spaciousness could hugely boost your productivity and workflow. However, the ultra-fast print speed of 700 ms, it's more of a theoretical peak than a practical daily speed. Bear with me here. Rapid acceleration is only useful if the printer maintains quality and precision, and that's where the Ender-5 Max trips up. Some users report that while the printer can technically hit these top speeds, print quality deteriorates significantly at high velocities. So it's like ordering a sports car but realizing it does better going slow on a gravel road. The acceleration rating of 20,000 ms/2 is impressive, but the mechanical vibrations at those speeds often result in visible ringing or ghosting artifacts in detailed prints. If you were dreaming about zipping through huge prints like a 3D printing flash, this might be your first disappointment. Then, there's the 36-point automatic bed leveling system. Now, this feature sounds cutting-edge. Precise leveling is crucial for good adhesion and print success, especially at such a large build size where warp issues and bed inconsistencies multiply. The dual-gear all-metal extruder is supposed to support stable filament feeding for extended prints, minimizing clogs and interruptions. In theory, you'd expect fewer failed prints and less fiddling linking you to your machine. But the reality, again, is a bit mixed. The auto-level sensor can sometimes become erratic or inconsistent, requiring manual calibration to avoid first-layer failures. Imagine buying a robot that's supposed to clean your house but occasionally forgets the kitchen exists. The extruder gear, while metal and durable, can grind certain filament types, especially flexible or abrasive ones, which means more frequent maintenance than advertised. A quirk unique to the Ender-5 Max is its LAN multi-device control feature. This allows professionals running several printers at once to manage them over a local network using Creality's print slicing software. Great for setting up print farms or speeding workflows with multiple machines humming in sync. However, that bonus comes with software bugs and connectivity drops reported by users, which make multi-printer control more frustrating than efficient. It's like having a walkie-talkie that occasionally switches to static. Communication is great when it works, but a headache when it doesn't. Here's a twist you might not expect. Despite the advanced features and solid hardware, The Ender-5 Max's assembly and out-of-the-box experience are reportedly cumbersome. Creality offers it as a semi-assembled kit, requiring at least a solid beginner's knowledge of 3D printer mechanics to get started. So if you were hoping for a plug-and-play experience, brace yourself to get your hands dirty. Assembling it can feel like trying to put together IKEA furniture without instructions. Moreover, the onboard screen and user interface are functional but not exactly user-friendly. Expect some learning curves with menus and print controls. Now, by this point you might be wondering, is the Ender-5 Max completely hopeless or just a glorified treadmill that sounds faster than it runs? Let's talk value. At $699, it's an investment, definitely not for casual users or those on a tight budget. Its 4.2 rating on Amazon is decent but not stellar, reflecting mixed customer satisfaction. Positive reviewers praise the massive build volume and frame stability. The cubic frame construction is sturdy and helps reduce wobble during prints, while critical reviews focus on quality control inconsistencies and initial setup headaches. But humor me for a moment to share a quick story. A friend of mine bought the Ender-5 Max to prototype parts for his drone startup. He was thrilled about the build's size and speed, dumping hours into complex designs. However, during these fast prints, he noticed layers shifting and slight misalignments that fixed after slowing speeds down to Ender-3 level. The auto bed level sensor would trigger random errors on consecutive prints, forcing him to switch back to manual leveling. It wasn't until he tinkered with firmware and slight hardware mods that things became more reliable. So while the specs looked perfect for his needs, getting to that point required perseverance and modifying the system. A classic buy now, upgrade later situation. Joke time. Why did the 3D printer break up with the filament? Because it was too clingy. And just like that filament, the Ender-5 Max clings onto you via constant calibration demands at first. Let's talk some quick pros and cons to clarify before we move on. Pros: massive build volume, sturdy frame, metal extruder, land control capability, and decent print quality at moderate speeds. Cons: complicated assembly, inconsistent auto-leveling sensor, print quality issues at max speed, occasional filament feeding troubles, and not-so-polished software. Here's an important question for you. Do you want a printer that's reliable out of the box, or are you comfortable experimenting and tweaking to unleash full performance? The Ender-5 Max leans more towards the latter. Therefore, it's best suited for advanced users who appreciate large build volumes and are willing to do some work to get there. Now, let's rehook your curiosity. What exactly makes the Ender-5 Max worth considering despite these flaws? And what alternatives might save you from potential frustration? Stay tuned because I'll cover those next and give you the final verdict you'll thank me for. Moving towards resolution. If you're determined to get the Ender-5 Max, here are some tips to maximize your experience. First, allocate time for assembly and initial calibration. Don't rush printing on day one. Use Creality's or third-party upgrades and firmware tweaks to stabilize the auto-level sensor and improve motion control. Second, moderate your printing speeds to find that sweet spot between quality and speed. 700 ms is a fun ceiling to chase, but 50 to 70 ms often gives the best results in practice. Third, maintain your extruder regularly. Keep an eye on filament feeding and clean gears after long prints. Fourth, use the land control feature if managing multi-printer setups, but prepare for some trial and error with connectivity. Here's another laugh. Why don't 3D printers ever get lost? Because they always have a build plate to land on. In the same way, with some patience, the Ender-5 Max can become a reliable workhorse with the right guidance. If you want an upgrade path, consider pairing your Ender-5 Max with quieter stepper drivers, better cooling fans, and improved bed adhesion surfaces to boost performance and reduce noise. These mods can help bridge the gap between the printer's potential and everyday reliability. Many community forums share mods and troubleshooting tips that can save you hours of frustration. But if you're a beginner or someone who values convenience over size, I'd honestly recommend starting with something simpler like the Ender-3 V2, or even investing a little more for other popular mid-sized printers. Ender-5 Max's size and features are unbeatable at this price point, but if you can't commit to tuning and maintenance, you will face frustrations. So here's the final word. The Creality Ender-5 Max isn't a bad printer by any means. It has incredible hardware specs and a few brilliant features designed for professionals. But it also comes with quirks and demands that make it less friendly for casual or novice users. If you're prepared to invest time in setup and maintenance, the large build volume and fast printing capabilities could indeed supercharge your productivity. However, if you want effortless printing with consistent quality straight out of the box, you might want to explore other options or be ready to spend time tweaking. Remember, in 3D printing it's rarely plug-and-play. Choices are about trade-offs. The Ender-5 Max leans toward versatility and volume over simplicity. That might just be what you need, or your ultimate headache, depending on your experience. If you feel ready to take this printer for a spin and can handle a bit of tinkering, the best deals on the Creality Ender-5 Max are available right now on Amazon. You can find the direct link in the description below, check reviews, compare prices, and if it suits your needs, take the plunge. Whether you want to print massive creations or manage multiple printers from your network, this machine can be a powerful asset if you get to know it well. One last joke to leave you with. Why did the filament become a comedian? Because it knew how to unwind a good story. Like this review, I hope it gave you value and a chuckle. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like if this review helped you. Subscribe for more honest tech reviews, and drop a comment if you have questions about the Ender-5 Max or 3D printing in general. Happy printing!